This is how you can make your first $100 on TikTok. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can go about doing it, but this is what we found with working with hundreds of clients. And also, this is how like my wife started to initially monetize her TikTok. It's just one of the easier ways to go about doing this. And this typically applies to service-based providers. There's a couple of other strategies you can apply if you want to make money in different ways. But we're going to start out with just the overall marketing strategy. But like number one, you're going to make content related to whatever service or product you're going to provide. And you're going to do this marketing to the three different buyer types. You're going to talk about problem aware content. You're going to talk about solution aware content. And then you're going to have agitation content. These are all different things we go over like more in depth in all of our marketing programs. But the gist of it is by talking about like what the solution is, you're talking about people who know they have a problem and you're telling them what the solution is, connecting those two dots in the gap there. Problem aware content is you're telling people that they have a problem and that there is a solution to it. And then agitation content is taking a stance that is different from what the majority of people in your industry believe, or is counter to a certain percentage of it, right? Those are the three major things that are going to help people go from, okay, I'm not sure about this, to, okay, this is something I need to do. Once you do that and you have interest in it, and usually this can take anywhere from like 5 to your 50 to 100 videos, and typically you just get traffic, is you're going to want to have a link in your bio. And I do believe now, and it depends on the TikTok update, but typically with a business account, you can put your link in bio straight away. On TikTok, you don't necessarily need the 1,000 followers like you used to. But you may need to get your business verified. I'm uncertain because with some clients and with some accounts, we've been able to do that, and other accounts we haven't. So it just kind of depends what version of the software from TikTok that you get. But with that link in bio, and like if you don't have a link in bio, I would just drive all this traffic over to your Instagram and run the same play. But you're just gonna have to make your first $100 is I would literally just do like a 90-minute intensive if you're a service-based provider. If you're trying to get involved in either an e-commerce business or you're doing something where it might be really hard to provide a service. For example, I'm a runner. If I was making tons of running content, I would do an affiliate link and I would look for a brand that I personally love, personally use. For example, Hoka. Like Hoka can be a really good brand for this because I do believe their affiliate program is like 20% commission on a shoe. So, you get one shoe sold, that is $20 in your bank account. I personally have kind of moved away from Hokus though. So, I mean, I would have to like look at an Amazon account or maybe like Ultra's affiliate program or another affiliate program to look at. But that's how I do it for an affiliate or an e-commerce platform. And when you're doing e-commerce, like if you already have an existing business, it's a little bit easier because you can just put that link in bio, drive all of your traffic there to a specific dedicated landing page to your top selling product, right? Or to like an affiliate product. If you're going to provide a service or want to be a service-based provider where you're kind of like in information services, digital products, like that space, again, 90-minute intensive, super popular to do, especially if you're doing something like, let's say you're doing AI automations or social media marketing tactics or how to create SOPs and systems within your business. There's all these different things where you can do a 90-minute intensive and provide way more value than what you're going to charge for it in that 90 minutes. And typically, when you set pricing, there's tons of books that talk about this, but you want to make it feel like they'd be dumb to say no to it. So figuring out how you can make that value proposition, and like you can literally just use Calendly and list out like everything you're going to get in this event booking and tie an event booking price to it. Super easy software. I think you can even get away with doing that on the free version of Calendly, if I'm not mistaken. And you're just going to list out all of the different like outcomes that they can expect, right? And or things you can provide. You can provide free templates for them. You can do all of these different like little things that you can include along with like a recording of the call, and typical outcomes. Okay. And you're just gonna put this in your bio. And if you don't know where to start for pricing, usually $97 is really easy. A really nice place to start. And it's not just based on how long it is, because you've taken hours to become proficient at what you're doing and what you're teaching, if not hundreds of hours, if not thousands of hours or years of your life. Okay. So that pricing per hour, like if you're like, wow, I only make 30 bucks an hour, it doesn't make sense to charge 100 bucks for an hour and a half. Well, guess what? If you're teaching someone how to set up automations for their business, it's going to save them, you know, potentially hundreds of hours a month. So guess what? It's worth every penny. If you're teaching marketing, you're helping them get leverage in their business to get more clients, right? And again, it kind of goes back to the philosophy of like a doctor who goes to school for at least 8 years, like post-secondary education, to become a doctor, right? And they charge hundreds of dollars per hour. And you might be like, well, why is that? Because they dedicated all of that time to learning their craft to perform a specific task. So this is the same principle there. And you just want to make sure you're providing more value than what you're actually asking for. Now, we found a really sweet spot, and this might be a little bit different just because inflation has picked up a little bit. But we found a really sweet spot at around $297, where if we were getting a couple hundred link clicks a day, we would typically sell 3 or 4 of those. And this was at a point, and like you can scale this up, this 90-minute intensive. You can do 10 to like 20K a month off of this. You can like live a phenomenal life if you're, good with doing 3 or 4 intensive a day. But when you're doing that many intensives, they can be really draining, and that's where switching your product offer suite becomes different. But that's not your first $100. So number one thing to make your first $100, again, it's making sure your offer is super specific. You don't need to overcomplicate with a crazy website if you're going to do an intensive, or even if you're doing an affiliate, just make a super, super, super simple dedicated landing page to one product. Don't try and have like 80 links in your bio or do any of that malarkey. You just want to dedicate to one thing that is going to be, if you have experience in the past, is your top seller, or one thing that you love more than anything else that ideally, especially if you're going to like do the affiliate route, has more margin / commission. It's a product that you love and you love to use, and also you love to talk about it, that you can make a ton of content about, okay? That coincides with your brand. So with all that being said, that's how I would go about to actually make my first $100 on TikTok. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, because coming out with tons of videos like this, just helping you get more leads, make sales, and invest in your future.